for over 5 years. So it's nice to meet you, Dr. Junada.
Well, for me, it's a great pleasure too. And honestly, Osman, I think that the participants today will be from a wide range of countries. So I'm really happy about this.
Yes, yes, definitely. Can I ask Samuel? Hi, Samuel. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm happy to be here. My name is Samuel Olawu, a physical therapist from Nigeria and also a lecturer with the University of Jos, Nigeria. I'm happy to be part of this MBA class, and it has been an interesting class. Innovation, entrepreneurship is the key. Thank you. You're welcome.
Welcome.
Well, I see, Osman, that even the background of the participants and the MBA students is wide, I would say.
Exactly, exactly. I'm sorry, I keep messing up his name. Kusai, are you here, brother? Hi,
yeah,
can you just briefly introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure, actually. Good evening, doctor. I am Qusay Frihat. I am from Jordan, Middle East, if you have ever heard about it, from Jordan. Actually, I'm working as a duty supervisor at the Royal Jordanian Airlines. I have a degree in engineering, English language, and linguistics, also master in linguistics. And recently, I joined this great MBA program, which I enjoy. I'm very happy that I'm presenting or attending this session. Thank you.
Well, thanks to you. I'm really happy with your students, Osman. And I just can imagine how much you can enjoy having classes with them by having such different backgrounds, and you all of them join the same seasons in finance or something related to business administration.
That's right. Unfortunately, not everybody's here because the different time zones.
Yes, it was
there's
a
some
problem,
students. Yeah, from the US and Indonesia. For them, either it's too early or too late. So we haven't got everyone here. Daniel, are you here? Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm Daniel Issa from Ghana, and I'm having a degree in agribusiness management, and I'm also working in a field that's a farm sector in part of Ghana. I'm happy to join this class, and I'm happy to further my education in MBA.
Well, I'm really glad to have you here, Daniel, too. Well, Osman, I would say that maybe you have done a perfect combination of the students that you have chosen for your master in business administration.
Yes, we try to get people with different backgrounds, because it's always helpful when you're working with people from different backgrounds. You learn about so many different countries. I think that helps the students as well as the teachers as well.
Well,
it's a great learning for us as well.
Do we have any other students from the master?
Sabira, hi. You want to introduce yourself? Sabira Muradi, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm hearing.
Do you want to just briefly introduce yourself, please?
Yes, sure. My name is Sabira Muradi. I'm from Afghanistan. I have done my bachelor in business administration, major in finance from Cardan University in Afghanistan.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Who else is left? I've got somebody who's got the title user on it. I don't know who that is. Can you introduce yourself briefly? Okay, maybe somebody doesn't want to introduce yourself. No worries. Saeed Rahman, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, sir. My name is Rahman. I am from Afghanistan. I did my bachelor degree in BBA.
And what are you up to now?
So now I'm jobless, sir. Doing nothing.
Okay. Full-time student.
Full-time? No, sir, not a student of your class.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Welcome, Saeed. Wahid Ullah.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum, sir. My name is Wahidullah Shah, and I'm a PhD scholar of Shandong Normal University, China, and currently I'm working as a senior lecturer of Management Sciences, Princeton University, cohort, and my major is Management Sciences and Engineering.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Junada, I'm just going to let you take over from here. So I've made you the host, and you can kick off your session.
May I share the presentation?
Yes, I gave you the right, so you're the co-host, so you can go ahead and do that.
Well, just something that I would like to mention since the beginning, without starting the season. The title or the topic chosen was Challenges and Opportunities of Digital Entrepreneurship. But maybe due to my positive nature, I don't like to get focused too much on the negativity. So I'm sure that at the end of the season, we will give a positive message. We don't to discourage those who want to join the entrepreneurship in general, and maybe more specific, the digital entrepreneurship. So I just want to specify this since the beginning. So just a moment so I can share the presentation. Are we okay now? Just a moment, please. So may I start, Osman? Maybe the other part of the participants can join us in the following moments.
Sure, please go ahead. We are recording this also, and we'll share the recording later. So anybody who's missed it, they can go through it at a later point in time as well.
Sure. Well, firstly, before going on with the season, I would like to thank you, Osman, again for the invitation, as well as Infinity for giving me the opportunity to join you in this great initiative, I would say, because maybe I would love to have had the opportunity to meet you face to face, but maybe we can have an opportunity like this in the future. So firstly, I'm grateful for your invitation, and I want to thank each one of you that has chosen to join us in the season. And secondly, about the topic chosen to be treated in this season, challenges and opportunities of digital entrepreneurship. To be honest, I found it an interesting topic, but the more I was trying to find out some information about it so I could bring it out in the season, I fell in love, I'd say, with the topic. It has a wide range of elements, components, or factors to be treated. So I'm sure that you'll enjoy everything that we'll treat. I have tried to bring out the best information. But anyway, there are too many details, and maybe a lot of details can be treated even in a specific topic in any different or any other season. So I have chosen maybe some of the most important information that I thought it would be appropriate to be presented in the season. Briefly, I would like to make just a brief presentation of myself, because maybe with any one of you, we may have been in touch even earlier. But for those that don't have any information about me, I'm currently working as an assistant lecturer of finance and accounting at Fanoli University in Corcha. Despite the academic experience, I've worked for almost a year as a finance manager in the private sector. as well as an accountant till the last year, because now I'm only focused in the academic work. Despite this experience, I've been actively engaged, or I've been giving my contribution in several scientific journals, in the position of a reviewer, editorial board member, subject editor, and as a scientific member. And currently, I'm looking for any other opportunity regarding the professional part of my work as well as the academic one. Well, I'm just giving a brief idea about what we're going to discuss in the coming part of the season. The main part of the season is going to be concentrated or focused on some of the main opportunities related to digital entrepreneurship, as well as the challenges. And at the end of the season, I would like to mention some of the factors that may help or lead to a successful digital entrepreneurship. To start in with the season, I'd like to use or to recall a quote from Martha Stewart, which says that there is no single recipe for success, but there is one essential ingredient, which is passion. I really love this quote, and there are a couple of elements that I would like to emphasize from this quote. The first element, or the first component that I would like to focus on, is related to the fact that in the moment that we talk about success, it doesn't matter if we talk about the success in the context or from the point of view of an individual, or if we discuss about success from the point of view of an entrepreneur or for a business or any other organization. I think that being passionate about what we do, it doesn't matter if we talk about our work, our business, or anything else. If we don't love what we do, we may be sure that we won't get the best results possible. So I think that passion is one of the key ingredients if we want to be successful in everything that we want to achieve. While talking about the ingredient, I'd like to maybe make a connection that might seem a little abstract. We may make a comparison to success or business with cooking, maybe, because if you don't have
sorry to interrupt you, but your PowerPoint slides are not moving. It's fixed on the first one. It's just on the title slide.
I don't know if we may have any problem with sharing.
Hey, can everybody see the other slides? Because it's stuck on the main slide. So on the left bar, if you can click on the slide that you're on, so that it changes in the center.
Can you change it or have any control about controlling the slides?
I don't have the control. You should have the control, but on the left bar where you see the icons, if you can just click on the icon for the slide you're on.
Just a moment.
And if possible, to maximize the slide.
No, I had maximized, but maybe it's the problem here.
Yeah, so now you're going to the okay, so now we see the speaker information.
Because from my part, everything is going well, but I don't know.
Yes. You need to keep on changing the slides, the one you're on.
In this part, you only see the full page of PowerPoint, right?
Yeah. Okay. Now we can see. So now when you just have to click on the slide to go forward.
In case that I'm clicking here, for example.
Yes. Now we can see now objectives. Now Martha Stewart's thing is on the screen. So yeah.
Do you see the change now, Osman? From
yes, we can see it now. Thank you.
It's okay. Now is the slide of the quote. Are we okay with that?
Yeah, when the Martha Stewart quote slide.
It might have been a problem maybe with sharing the screen.
No, it's okay. Just you have to keep on clicking, I think.
Okay. Just please let me know on the next slide if we're okay with that. So may I go on?
Yes, please go ahead.
Well, as I was saying, maybe we can make a comparison with the right combination, let's say, of the components to achieve success, maybe with a cooking recipe, because if you don't have all the ingredients and if you don't put love there, you don't have delicious food, I would say, or a recipe that is delicious. So the same can happen when we talk about success. In case that you don't love what you do, in case that you this will bring or make you less motivated, less courage to go on further with your work, or you won't have the best result possible. Well, we see people that really love what they do. Maybe they don't matter to work long hours. They don't matter if they might be challenged in their work, or they don't mind even making mistakes or anything else, let's say. So this was the idea that I want to bring out. But I want to mention again the fact that it doesn't matter if we fail, if we make mistakes. It's important to keep going on, because nothing successful is reached within a day or from one day to another. So it's important to keep going on, and also mistakes are useful because we can learn a lot from them, and maybe we can learn more from failures and mistakes rather than from achieving directly something that we want. Anyway, some part of these factors will be revealed also in the other part of the presentation. Can we see the next slide now? Are we okay with the next slide?
No, you have to click on the left side.
Are we okay here?
You're still on the Martha Stewart slide.
No, maybe it might be something related to the...
Yes,
okay,
yes,
no.
it's okay.
Something related to the presentation. It's okay. Now I think that we're okay.
Yes, perfect.
Well, while talking about digital entrepreneurship, I would like to start with a definition about digital entrepreneurship. We can define, broad, we are talking about the broad definition here. Digital entrepreneurship is defined as creating new ventures and transforming existing businesses by developing novel digital technologies and novel usage of such technologies. There are a few elements that I would like to focus on in this definition. Firstly, I would like to mention the fact that while we are talking about digital entrepreneurship, we are not focusing only on creating new ventures, but also on the transformation of existing businesses by using novel technologies. Of course, that if we can mention the current situation of the pandemic, which might have changed completely the way in which many things work in the world, by taking into consideration how people are living, are working, how organizations are working, or even by including here the functioning of governments, I would like to mention the fact that despite this difficult situation that we have been living on the current years, everything negative has its positive side, I would say. So even the pandemic, maybe if we connect it with a digital entrepreneurship, might have had some positive effects, because maybe those that have been able to identify several opportunities that maybe others have not been able to identify might have exploited these opportunities to create business ventures. And we have plenty of examples that have shown really successful cases that, despite the difficult situation of the pandemic, have succeeded. And the second part that I would like to emphasize or to focus on from this definition is related to the novel digital technologies. I'd like to mention some of these novel digital technologies which might help transforming businesses that are existing ones and not only help creating new ventures. I would like to mention social media, for example, which have an impact that is continuously increasing lately. Mobile phones, for example, are one of the technologies that have completely changed our lives in many directions, positive and negative ones, because while talking about novel technologies or digital transformation, I would like to mention the fact that there might be some positive and negative sides as well. We have also big data, which have attracted a lot of attention, especially lately. The Internet of Things and cloud. These are a part of the novel technologies that are changing the world, I would say. My attention would be focused to cloud computing, to which we'll get back also in the other part of the presentation, and also in the Internet of Things, together with mobile phones, I would say. The company in which I've been working as an accountant as well as a finance manager, was focused on security systems and cameras, which gave me the opportunity to see how maybe cloud computing, Internet of Things, and maybe the usage of mobile phones could be integrated together. And if I would be focused on them, maybe I would say that it would be interesting to make maybe a workshop or any other season just focused on this, of course, from people or academics or professionals that might be focused on this field. And especially the cloud computing, I would say that has many usages. And I would say that despite the tendency that we might have to overemphasize maybe the positive effects, I would like to mention also the fact that there might be some points that we need to take care of, because maybe we tend to leave aside, let's say, or not to show the right importance or the right attention to some possible negative elements or sides when we talk about digital transformation in general, because we tend to see the benefits that we have and tend to leave behind the possible side effects, let's say. Because even while we talk about technologies, we have the tendency to say that digital technologies have changed a lot our lives in many directions. But maybe we tend to leave behind the fact that such technologies might have also some negative effects. For example, if we talk about social media, if we talk about mobile phones, there are plenty of positive effects from the usage of them. But on the other side, we might have also some negative effects, like becoming dependent to social media, which has been discussed a lot lately, or even from the mobile phones. And if we connect these components together with an entrepreneur, we'll see also a little later, maybe sometimes when we tend to get addicted to something, to a technology, or to work, or to your business, to your new venture, you tend to leave behind everything else. Maybe you tend to get focused only on your business. Maybe we have to find the right balance, let's say, with between both sides, the positives and negative ones. So maybe we have to rethink a little about the degree of usage of these technologies, if we see this in the context of an individual, but also even we would see it in a wider context if we talk about this when we talk about an entrepreneurship. So now I would like to get focused on some of the opportunities or some of the positive sides when we talk about digitalization. like I've mentioned previously about the pandemic, one of the benefits, let's say, from the situation was related with the work options. Because when the companies were faced with these challenges and they had to get adapted in order to continue their activities, of course that they had to change many things. Digitalization has helped them a lot. And maybe adding some more options regarding work was one of the points that had to change more, maybe in comparison to other processes of that an organization can follow during her activity. So while about the work, I would like to mention the fact that we might have some negative effects related to isolation maybe, but now that the pandemic is changing its direction and fortunately may be reaching till the end, we are seeing that maybe not everything that forced the organizations to change was a negative one, because if we talk about work, many companies have chosen to continue working using these work options, like working remotely, or maybe making a combination between both working in office and online working or remote working. And if we would talk about the work, everything has its positive and negative sides. We can't say that remote working might be completely effective in the office or in remote. I would say that we have to study this case by case. We can't make a generalization in every case. So it's like mentioning a principle in theory, in finance, for example, and taking it for granted in each one of the situations that we may be treating. While we talk about theory, like in this case, we may see the advantages and disadvantages of working remote or working in office. But in case that we want to see it in reality, we have to compare the positive sides or the positive effects and the negative ones. So I would like to mention also the fact that while talking about remote work, digitalization has helped a lot in this direction, but it has had some positive effects, but also negative ones related to security, for example, or some other components that will be mentioned to digital transformation in the next slides. I'd like to mention also the fact that flexibility is one of the opportunities for positive effects by using digitalization in an organization. If I would mention cloud computing that I have mentioned also on the previous slide, I would like to emphasize the fact that it has many positive effects. Flexibility might be one of them, because if I can see this from the point of view of someone that works with finance or accounting, I would say that if we take into consideration an accounting software, for example, in case that we might have adopted this new technology, we might be using a new software, which might not be the platinum version, for example, which requires to install the financial program or the accounting program in the computers of the company, while it may be in the version of using cloud computing, which reflect the fact that we use this software by writing down the host or the link in Google or in any other internet browser. This might have, of course, some benefits, because if we might have several accountants, it will be much more easier to integrate their work. But at the same time, it gives you the opportunity to go on with your work, even while your accountants or your other employees that use the software might not be present at the company. So this might have some positive sides, but flexibility might be one of them. For example, I would like to mention also the security of data, which is something that needs to be discussed, but we'll get back to this on the next slide. I'd like to mention also the fact that digitalization might create some opportunities related to promoting gender equality and social and economic inclusion, which has been discussed a lot. Even why I think that there is some improvement in this direction. It still needs to be done much more than this in order to reach that equality in reality, let's say, because even if we compare less developed economies with developed economies, I've had the opportunity to see that some problems that maybe we that live in less developed countries tend to think that exist only here. I've seen that there are present also in other countries. So I think that we have to work more in this, but everything starts with each one of us, let's say, because we're the one that, despite the systems, we're the one that work with the systems, we're the one that make the rules. So of course that we have to make our best in this direction. Something else that I'd like to mention.
Which slide are you on? Because I can see only 5 on my screen.
We're here. Opportunities. We're talking about opportunities. Are we here?
Now we are here. Once you have to keep on clicking on the slide that you move on to. Okay, from the left.
Just a moment.
So now you clicked on 6. Now I can see 6 on the screen. Right, guys?
I don't know which is the problem of the application.
You have to just this is not a you have not done the presentation. So you're on the editing view. So when you're on the editing view, what you have to do is when you move on to the slide, you have to click on the left side. Take your cursor to the left.
Just a moment.
Panel, right? So change the slide, you click on the slowly to see it on the middle.
When I'm sharing here, I'm at the 6th slide. Till here, are we okay? Do you see the sixth slide, right?
Yes.
We're talking about opportunities created by digitalization. So here, are we okay, Osman?
Yes, now we can see 6. So you have to keep on changing it.
If I'm clicking the next slide, you're seeing again the same?
No, we're still seeing 6. So on the left hand, on your panel, you have to click on the thumbnail for the slide that you want to go on to. Or if you press the F5 button, it will make it full screen and then we can see your, as you move from next slide, it will show us that.
Can you see it here?
Now we can see number 7, yeah. So if you just press the F5 button, it will make it full screen. Or the presentation, yeah, that one right there.
So for me, it's okay. It's just that you can see it. I don't really understand the problem.
Okay, no worries.
So you can see opportunities here, right?
Yes.
If I'm going on with the next slide, you can't see it. Challenges.
Right now, we don't see it.
Yeah, this will not be able to recognize the number of slides.
I don't know what kind of problem might be with
now we
Zoom.
can see challenges.
We can see
Now,
challenges.
back to
Can I leave it
opportunities.
here, Osman? It's okay. Can you see it?
Yeah,
Because if I will change it,
sure.
it won't. It will be the same problem.
Yeah, some challenges with the remotely.
Can I go on?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thanks to you. Well, I was talking about some of the opportunities that are created by digitalization. I would like to talk also about stimulating local development. One of the positive sides or the opportunities that can create digitalization or new ventures related to this field is related to the fact that maybe in local areas, it might help in solving some of the problems that might be there, which might be a great help for the community that is living there. By taking this into consideration, and by taking into consideration the last developments in the world lately, by taking into consideration the war between Ukraine and Russia, I would like to mention one of the entrepreneurships that I've read lately. It was a young man that had founded a company which was working to produce cameras and to make a connection with a mobile phone application, so people could make a monitoration of their pets in distance, which I really found interesting. But of course, there are also many other examples of successful new ventures and also of the transformation of existing businesses in this field. I would also like to mention the fact that while we talk about systems, digitalization can help a lot in simplify the systems. If we compare the world or maybe the way in which many organizations or businesses are functioning right now in comparison to a few decades before, I would like to mention the fact that if a company might have been obligated to make a lot of manual work, now many things by starting for a simple schedule or some of the contacts of the clients, of the suppliers, or even for any other things needed in the company have changed and are much more simpler. For example, we can use different platforms or application to even plan our meetings or to make anything else much more easier. So we can also avoid different the possibility to have any conflict in this data information or any other thing. I would also like to mention the fact that while we talk about systems, we can see them in a wider range of things, I would say, within an organization. We might talk about systems just to have a clear idea about the information that we might have about our clients, for example. While we tend to use more digitalization in our organization, we might have the opportunity to have a full database of the information related to our clients, for example. While we talk about suppliers, for example, if we take into consideration digitalization that might be related to some of the systems that are used to manage inventory, for example, this software might be really helpful, not just to monitor the inventory level, but also can be connected to the information that is related to the suppliers. So at the moment that we might reach that low level of the inventory, if we talk about a company that has a physical inventory present, in this case, we can face a situation in which the software automatically processes and order to the furniture or to the suppliers of the products of the company. So in case that we talk about systems, we can see like this example, also many others. Another thing that I would like to mention while we talk about opportunities created by digitalization is related to the services that an organization might offer to its clients. And there is a tendency to experience an improvement in the services provided by the company or by the organization in the moment that we try to adopt digitalization in our work or in our organization. Because there is a tendency in, if we make a connection of this point with the fact that there is an increased interaction with the stakeholders, the last point, because there is a tendency to have a better interconnection or interaction of the company with the different stakeholders, which is something positive because maybe in this case, we don't tend just to treat each part of the organization like being divided part or something not related to the other. Of course, that everything that is related to the business, to the organization needs to be integrated. And the better the interaction with the stakeholders, of course, that this will help also the next steps of the organization or her activity in the future. While talking about this, the last point that I would like to mention about the opportunities created by digitalization is related to the fact that digitalization in general can help making business activities easier and also faster. If we may talk about the service that we might offer to our clients, the communication with our clients, with our suppliers, or any other parties related to the organization, of course, that digitalization has helped a lot to facilitate everything that is related to this part. If we talk about clients, for example, if we relate this to the systems as well, we might use software which may integrate at the same time the information related to the clients. But if we might have an offer, for example, for our clients, it's much more easier to notify our clients about any offer that we might have, about what we are offering, about our products, services, if we may see a wide range of the activities that might be offering a company. The next thing that I would like to discuss is related to some of the main challenges or problems that are related to digital entrepreneurs. One of the facts that I would like to start with is related to the fact that one of the most greatest problems, I would say, that face in general digital entrepreneurs is just related to finance and accounting. Maybe I might have the tendency to overemphasize maybe or to overestimate the role of this this function because my background is related to finance and accounting, but it is the truth that finance and accounting is one of the most important functions of the organization. And just like it may help in going on with the plans that might have had the organization, at the same time it might have the negative result. Because if I would make a comparison between finance and accounting, I don't know why accounting in general is seen as more complex in comparison to finance, and finance in general is seen as an activity which is more interesting maybe, because I see this also with my students, which tend to be more attracted to finance in comparison with the accounting. But as I was saying about finance and accounting, if we also make a comparison between different companies that may be new companies that may be founded lately, I would say that finances and taxes in general are one of the components that may give the greatest contribution in the failure of the companies in the first year, and then if we compare the companies that fail in the first year after they are founded or created, in the second year, we have a low portion of those companies that go on with their activities. So I would say again that while talking about finance, we have to be really careful here, and maybe those entrepreneurs that might have a background related to finance might have an advantage in this case, but that's not to be taken for granted, because there are many entrepreneurs that might have had a great plan at the beginning when they have founded the company or the organization, and then everything might have changed in the contrary direction, from the positive scenario to the negative one. Something else that I would like to mention related to the challenges that digital entrepreneurs face is related to managing social media accounts. We previously have mentioned the fact that social media has an increased role nowadays in many directions. But maybe if we see this in the case of digital entrepreneurs, we have to mention the fact that we might have a great business, but promotion, marketing, social media plays an important role in making the connection between our business and the customers. So we should find maybe the right balance or the right promotion strategy between, so we can make the right connection between the value that the company represents and how this value is represented to the customers. Recruiting staff is also one of the challenges that digital entrepreneurs face, because if we talk about the initial period in which digital entrepreneurship is founded or created, maybe at the beginning it might not be a problem, because maybe we may find some workers or people that we need for the work that we need to be done in the form of outsourcing or from freelancers. It will come a moment in which the company will need to have some full-time staff, let's say, or workers. So maybe using outsourcing might be a solution, but anyway, it's a problematic point when it comes to digital entrepreneurs. I would like to mention also the fact that having a website might be, I wouldn't say a critical factor, but it's an important factor for digital entrepreneurship. While talking about a website, we have seen that the greatest part of the companies have already a website. We might see this when we talk about small companies or small ventures, or even for greater organizations. But anyway, while we talk about websites, I would like to mention the fact that it is really important to have a website, but maybe we can connect this with what I've mentioned previously, because we might have an excellent website from the point of view of the aesthetical part, let's say, and also from the content that we might have included there. It might be perfect, but we have to make a great combination of this website with the marketing strategies that the organization might have, because it's really important to be able to connect with the possible customers or the potential customers, rather than just getting focused on having the perfect website. Because if no one knows that this website exists, of course that it doesn't matter if it's a very good one, it's excellent, or it's not an excellent website. So I think that it must be connected with a marketing strategy or the promotional strategies that might choose to follow an organization. An important topic or a factor that needs to be taken into consideration from digital entrepreneurs is also knowing when to scale up. We have the tendency, when we might be a new venture, the founder of a new venture, or might be at the first steps of founding a company, we have the tendency to rush, let's say, in order to grow our business or our ventures or our digital entrepreneurship as faster as possible. But we have to take into consideration that rushing in not always will bring out the best result. So we have to be careful in this point, because maybe it's better to wait some time more rather than rushing in and making the wrong decision. So maybe this is why it may be considered as one of the challenges that may face digital entrepreneurs. Infrastructure is one of the problems that might face digital entrepreneurship, because we have also mentioned in the definition of digital entrepreneurship the fact that we have the usage of novel technologies. We're great when we make this definition, but how can we be an excellent organization or a successful digital entrepreneurship in an area, for example, when we don't have internet or we don't have the right infrastructure, so we can use these services. So maybe this is one of those problems that needs to be taken into consideration when we talk about digital entrepreneurship. Something else that might be considered as a challenge or a problem when we talk about digital entrepreneurs is related to the skills and the knowledge. I would like to make a connection between knowledge and what we have mentioned previously about the infrastructure, because even while we may have created a business venture, a new venture in digital entrepreneurship, maybe people might not have the right knowledge so they can use this new technology. So even while our service might be perfect, we have to work in this direction. So maybe we can help with our services, the potential customers or clients, so they can have the opportunity to learn more about this service to have a better understanding of it. This is also related to skills, but maybe skills might be seen from the point of view of the founder of the company, because sometimes might be difficult to find the right people to make the right work for it. Because of course that even while we may be the founder of digital entrepreneurship or even another entrepreneurship, we have to take into consideration the fact that we might not know everything that needs to be done in the company. We might not know or be an expert in finance, in accounting, in IT, or any other field. So of course that we have to work to find the best people to join our company. But when we talk about recruiting, that we also have mentioned previously, it's quite difficult to find the right people to join our organization, because we know that there is a gap when we talk about recruiting, which is a problem for many companies. And on the other side, we have many people that are looking for a job and still not finding a job. So we have to work also in this direction, so we can close this gap. Also, business environment barriers is one of the challenges that digital entrepreneurs face. We can mention here some of the barriers that may be related to entering in the market or exiting or closing or the company in case that it hasn't succeeded, but it has failed. We may mention several components here related to taxation or any other component that might help the business to move, let's say, in the right direction, or might discourage the entrepreneur to go on with its activity. So we have to take into consideration, all these components. I would like to mention also some of the challenges, but of the digital transformation, which is a more wide concept in comparison to only to digital entrepreneurship. Of course, that we previously mentioned the fact that digital transformation might have some positive effects, some negative ones. But I would like to say that in case that we want to start a new venture, we have to take into consideration, the positive sides as well as the negative sides. But in case that we might be determined to go on with this initiative, with this business venture, with this digital entrepreneurship, of course that we will go on. And it doesn't matter how long is the list with the challenges that we might face. Below, we have listed some of the main challenges of digital transformation. One of these challenges is related to the fact that many companies do the error or the mistake of using the same working principles or models that they might have used before transforming or using digital transformation in their company. In case that we make such a transformation in our company or organization, of course, that we have to take into consideration that those principles or those plans that we might have used before and have resulted to be successful, not necessarily will be successful after adopting the digital transformation. Something else is related to budgetary issues and constraints. So maybe we have also mentioned in the previous slides, when we talk about finance, when we talk about budgetary issues, maybe we have planned something before making this transformation, this digital transformation, and the situation might have changed completely. So we have to be careful in this part, so we can at least get adapted easily, so we can take into control, let's say, or control the situation as soon as possible if we might have the experiencing of a negative scenario. There is also another challenge related to digital transformation, which is related to the idea of technology first that customers. This reflects the fact that sometimes maybe companies or organizations tend to get focused more on being perfect technically on the service that they work, and tend to leave behind their customers. But if we take into consideration one of the main principles of marketing, which says that our customers are the kings of the business, of course that this reflects the fact that customers are really important. So we have to show the right attention to them. Another component that I would like to mention is related to the lack of leadership support. When we talk about leadership, I think that this is a more wider topic to be discussed, because it doesn't matter if we talk about digital entrepreneurship or any other area or any other entrepreneurship. When we talk about leadership, of course, that a great leader will be able to create a good team, to keep a team that is motivated, will be able to be maybe more adapted or more open to get adapted to changes that might be even unexpected. But in case that we might have a leader which might be more autocratic, let's say, or maybe focused more on maybe on the goals of the company and tends to leave behind the community, the employees of the organization or the customers, of course, that the result won't be the expected one. We can also mention the fact that there might be an inefficient data handling. And if we get back again to finance, like ROI, we might tend to make the mistake maybe to have some overestimation related to the financial profits or the financial return when we talk about return on investments. Of course that we should have our goals, but not to be excessively expecting, let's say. when we talk about the return on our investment. I'd like to mention the fact that sometimes one of the greatest challenges when the organizations are trying to adopt digital transformation is related to the fact that while we talk about IT skills, of course that this is related to the employees that may join us. If we firstly have problems in finding the right employees to join our organization, of course that it will be quite difficult to create the best service for our clients, to create the best system that might help in organizing everything within the organization. And furthermore, in case that we might be a new venture which is completely focused on digital entrepreneurship, not only in transforming an existing one, of course, that also in this case, it might be even more difficult to create that excellent service or that excellent product, let's say, for our clients. So finding the right employees and furthermore keeping them so they can stay for a long time with the company, it's another problem. We can also mention the fact that there might not be a clear business driving model, as well as the security, which might not be really strong. I have previously mentioned cloud computing. I've had the opportunity to see how an organization can use cloud computing, and despite the benefits that it might have, it has also some other risks. Below, I'm listing some of the benefits of cloud computing, so we can discuss at the same time the topic that I wanted to mention in the previous slide. When we talk about cloud computing, I would like to mention that saving costs or mobility or insights are some of the benefits when we talk about cloud computing. Cloud computing has the advantage that it might offer the organization, despite the opportunity to create a wide or a big database of the information that it might have. It may also offer some options, so the organization can have some reports related to this information. I'm not giving any details about the insights or the analysis, because it depends on the kind of information that we're talking about. Automatic software update is one of the advantages that the cloud computing offers, because if we compare it with the other system, maybe it requires manual software updates, which might be difficult maybe, but may also affect the performance. Anyway, I would like to mention also some of the risks that are related to cloud computing, like related to performance, which can vary. We can have technical issues. Security is one of the problems that is really important, I would say, because if we talk about security in the cloud computing, we tend to be maybe more vulnerable or more open to risks of cyber attacks. So this might be one of the greatest problems when we talk about cloud computing. Downtime, which might be related to problems in functioning of the central server of the companies that might be offering this service, cloud computing. Internet connectivity, which also might be a problem, as well as the lack of support, which tends to be one of the greatest problems, because sometimes companies that are offering cloud computing tend to be not too much helpful, let's say, towards the companies in which they are offering this service. To conclude the season, I would like to mention some of the personality traits of successful digital entrepreneurs, as well as some of the habits maybe of those people that might have been really successful in founding or in transforming an existing venture by using novel technologies. I would like to mention that a successful digital entrepreneur needs to be visionary, needs to be a good communicator. Of course, that needs to be visionary, because if we don't have the right plan on how the organization is going to be, how the entrepreneurship is going to be organized, or how it's going to be reach the goals that we might have set. Of course, that is not easy, because we might have a mess, I would say, within the organization. So of course that we need to have a plan about the goals that we want to achieve. Communication, I would say, that is important not only in this kind of digital entrepreneurship, but also in many other areas, including here entrepreneurship or personal communication. Because we might have the perfect plan, but in case that we're not able to communicate our goals or everything that we might have to communicate within the company, of course that we won't have the best results. Of course that an entrepreneur, in order to be successful, needs to be motivated, because in case that we're not motivated enough towards what we want to achieve, we won't have the best results possible. A successful digital entrepreneur also needs to be an opportunist. This is also related to being an explorer, which means that a successful entrepreneur needs to be maybe focused on details, or maybe needs to be able to find an opportunity in a place that maybe others are not able to find one. And we have seen plenty of successful ventures in which we might have been surprised by the idea that might have had these entrepreneurs. Well, when we talk about technology, I've seen many discussions related to this point, because if we talk about companies that are greatly related to digital transformation or novel technologies, it's really important that the entrepreneurs need to have maybe excellent knowledge related to the technology that is being used within the organization. I would also like to mention the fact that an entrepreneur needs to be adaptable, in case that we might have a complete change in the situation from the positive scenario to the negative one, or the contrary. Of course, that we need to be able to get adapted to these changes. We shouldn't be too, we have to be flexible, let's say, because in case that there are changes, we have to get adapted to these changes. And also the pandemic maybe helped us to understand which were those organizations that were really resilient, which was really related to being adaptable or flexible maybe. Learn from mistakes is one of the personality traits that is really important, I would say, because of course that when we talk about ventures, but also on other areas, we're humans at the end. So of course that we might make an error, but it's important to learn from these mistakes, and maybe to use that law of polarity to turn maybe negativity into positivity. Also in this case, if we make mistakes, I would say that it's not the end of the world. If we fail, it's not the end of the world, but we have to find the courage to go on with what we want to go on, so we can achieve our objectives. We know many successful entrepreneurs that we may have the idea that they are really successful, but of course that they have passed through these stages. So they might have faced even making mistakes or failing from one time to another till now, let's say, to the point that they are really successful. And also tenacity is one of the personality traits of successful digital entrepreneurs. Now, at the end, I would like to mention some of the habits of successful digital entrepreneurs. The first one is related to the fact that digital entrepreneurs ask for help. This means that when we might be the creator, the founder of a new venture, or maybe the transformation of an existing one. Of course, that we might not be an expert in everything that needs to be done within the organization. We might have 1, 2, 3 areas of expertise, let's say, but we can't do everything alone. So in order to be successful, we shouldn't be afraid to ask for help when it is needed. Something else that I would like to mention is related to the fact that despite the fact that digital entrepreneurs might tend to be motivated, might be passionate about the activity that they have chosen to do, they should pay a great attention also to their health. They should enjoy maybe taking time off. But I would like to make a connection with of these two habits with the fact that they need really to unplug when they're not working, because it's not necessary only to be far from the company, but you really need to get or to be unplugged when you're not working, because there is a tendency of entrepreneurs to be completely related, let's say, or connected to the company. So they find it quite difficult to get disconnected from the company, even when they are not in the company. They tend to check everything related to the information that might impact the activity of the company. So in case that we want to succeed, we need to recharge maybe. So we need to pay attention to our health as well. So maybe we have to learn to work smarter and not only work harder, or becoming a workaholic, I would say. They build systems is one of the habits of successful digital entrepreneurs. We've mentioned a few things about building systems. Systems are really important because if we would mention an accounting software that we've previously mentioned, maybe we may see that while we work about making the registration of the accounting of the information, entering the information that is related to accounting, in the accounting software, there might be different templates. So if we might have this new solution, of course that it might be more, if we have built this system, let's say, might be much more easier for the employees to integrate their work in comparison to the situation that everything related to accounting, to finance, or any other activity needs to be done manually, let's say. So maybe building systems might help also in avoiding many possible errors that manual work, for example, might bring. I would also like to mention the fact that successful digital entrepreneurs tend to stick or to identify what works and get focused on it, and not trying to find out what doesn't work. For example, BIC is one of the perfect examples of it. If we see the design of one of the pens of or the pens of BIC, we see that some of them hasn't changed since the company has been founded, which means that if we have identified something that works, we should do what works, not only have the tendency to do something new or to adapt something new just to make another adoption or a new adoption to our company. So I would like to say that it would be better to get focused on what works and use more these principles or everything that is perfectly working rather than trying to change it. And the last thing that I would like to mention is related to the fact that when we talk about the resources or sources that digital entrepreneurs may use to get up to date on the industry news, of course that we tend to be overwhelmed with the information that we receive from different sources. So of course that they don't have enough time to check everyone or each one of these resources. So they tend to pick up only a few of these high quality resources so they can stay up to date on the industry news. And to finish the presentation, I would like to mention one of the quotes, which says that the best view comes after the hardest time. Of course that creating a new venture It's not easy. You have to face many challenges or problems. But I think that if we get back to the first thing that I've mentioned, if we are passionate about what we do, if we're willing to go ahead or to go further with our idea, with our business, of course that nothing is impossible. And maybe if you tend to struggle more about what you're doing, of course that maybe you tend maybe to enjoy more the result that will be at the end. So this is what I wanted to bring out, let's say. I just want to thank each one of you for the participation. I don't know, Osman, if you wanted to add anything.
Thank you very much. That was a very comprehensive, very useful talk. Are there any questions from anybody?
Samuel, maybe.
These guys had a class also just before this. So I know some of them have been here for 3 hours now, more than 3 hours. So they might be a bit tired, but any questions?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Prof.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm hearing.
Yes, you mentioned the issue of to be a one cogent point to be a successful digital entrepreneur. We need to the issue of technology. We need to be a yes. What level of technological know-how do one need to acquire to be successful?
What level of technology would be the perfect one, are you meaning?
Yes, that's my question.
Well, I wouldn't say that there is one solution for each company, I would say, because it depends on the type of the enterprise or organization that we're talking about. In case that we might be talking about a company that is completely focused on offering a service that includes only or is completely digital, let's say, of course that here the level of the technology will be high, let's say, in comparison with a company that might have been an existing one and is only adopting some new technologies in order to improve the systems or to improve the way in which the organization is working. So I can't say that there is only one level of technology or that the perfect solution, let's say, that might be helpful in each one of the cases. Because it's like saying that I have a successful story of a person and I can completely or 100% adapt it in myself. I can't just copy this one, is the idea. So even while I might have a percentage, let's say, of the perfect level of the technology that might be used in a company, this one can be copied or be true, let's say, for each one of the companies, because there are many factors that impact the activity of the companies. Not every company or entrepreneurship is the same as the others. So there are some maybe personal, I would say, factors, or some factors that are maybe unique to each one of the companies or the entrepreneurships. So this one needs to be taken into consideration before making this solution. So I think that this can be defined maybe, but case by case. Not just saying that is this level of technologies and can be used in an existing company, in a new one, in a company that is completely digital, or in another company.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? No, I think, Kusai, any question?
No, nothing. I just wanted to say that everything is clear and would like to thank her for the comprehensive digital transformation.
Yes, sir, I have your questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Osman, and the hosting who presenting I'm very thankful that you are providing such a good platform for student as well as for teacher. In slides number 6, you discussed the opportunity, but I want to add some of things like investing online and fintech opportunity also created by digitalizations. That is the major activity of the world if we want to check. So mostly you can borrow from multiple countries or across the borders. You can finance your business everywhere. So investing and fintech opportunity also created by digitalizations. And my questions on this slides number 7 challenges. You are discussing about recruiting the staff, but if we will say that online recruiting the staff is one of the easiest tasks, as if we will search the freelancing websites, we can recruit skillful, especially in South Asia and Asia. But maybe it's some deficiency in the Europe or America, etc. Maybe people are busy there. But here, the staff recruiting the staff opportunity is easiest way through freelancing. So you can recruit your staff easily. And this is not a challengeful for entrepreneur if they want to work in this Asia, especially in the South Asia markets. And
I'm sorry to interrupt, dear Shah. Just one thing about what you mentioned. I've also mentioned the fact that when we talk about digital entrepreneurship, using freelancer is one of the easiest way to find the employees that we need. But this might be for the first period, let's say, when the company has just been founded for the first years. In a long period, or in the long run, of course, that we have to find full-time employees. And what I've mentioned regarding recruiting is that it doesn't matter if we talk about digital entrepreneurship or anything else. We have seen that there are many problems when trying to match the employees and the employers. And when we talk about finding the right employees, I would mention the fact that we are not talking here only about online businesses or businesses that are focused in, or new ventures focused in this area, but we're talking also about the digital transformation of the existing companies. So we have to make a combination of both of them.
Yes.
So I'm sorry if I've interrupted. Did you want to add anything else?
No, I'm not interrupting. I watching and listening from start, but actually that recruiting staff through freelancing, that is only possible for short run, not for a longer period of time. Because if you want to establish your business online, then you need permanent staff.
Exactly, and I think that's what Professor Junada just said.
And something else, Osman, to what Shah mentioned about digital transformation related to finance. That would be a completely different topic, I would say. We might have a lot to discuss about it. It might be maybe in another season we may discuss.
Yes, maybe another guest talk at some point later.
What I've seen with the information included in the presentation, if we talk about cloud computing, we might talk one whole day only about cloud computing. Internet of Things, the same. Social media, the same. About using mobile phones, the same. So in case that we see each one of these components, there is much more to discuss. But I agree with the fact that in case that we get focused to fintech, maybe there are many other interesting things to get discussed.
Thank you very much once again, Professor Junada. Really appreciate the wonderful talk. I'm sure all of these guys had a good time and learned a lot from you, and we look forward to seeing you in the future and working with you in other projects.
I just want to thank you again. for the invitation, and thank you so much for each one of the participants. It was a great pleasure to have you all here.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
I'm just gonna give a little about the next guest speaker we will be having. So those of you who are interested, you can stay back. Professor Junada, you're welcome to stay. Otherwise, if you want to leave, you can go ahead. I'm just giving them a brief overview about the next guest speaker that we will be doing. So those of you who are new to the ICM, I see there's a whole bunch of people who don't know about us. We are a London-based institute. We run a number of programs, a master's in customer experience. We have 2 MBA programs. One we are running in partnership with University of York, St. John, which is a British university. And then we have a generic MBA program, which we are running at the moment. And then we have a BSc in Business and Management, which is run in partnership with University of Teesside in the UK. Our next guest talk is going to be, if I can just go through the faculty list, I'll show you. So the next guest talk is going to be on leadership in the entrepreneurship domain. And that talk is going to be delivered by Professor Vlasios. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. He's a Greek British guy. And he's currently senior lecturer, which means associate professor at Bristol University Business School. He will be doing a talk on leadership from an entrepreneurship perspective. So those of you who are interested, you can come to our website, icasman.com. You can sign up and you can find out more about us. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks again. Professor Junada, again, for coming, and I hope to see everyone here in the future.
Thanks to you, Osman. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Take care. Thank you. See you guys. Before you leave, those participants, there's a little poll. If you can just fill out the poll, please, and fill out the poll before you go. I'd highly appreciate it. So take care. I'll see the rest of you guys later. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.